Hello everyone, hope you're having the greatest day today. Welcome to the Film Insight channel. For today's video, we're going to discuss more bar rescue bars and reveal how they're doing now. So, sit back, relax, and without further ado, let's get right into the content, guys. TJ Quills. Back in 2012, Darian Blanchard decided to purchase a bar called TJ Quills that he frequently visited during his college days to save it from closure. Though, the business was notorious for selling alcohol underage, which led to a police raid and an ultimatum that would put Blanchard out of business if he continued on the same path. On top of this, the bar is run by Blanchard's immature friends who only drink and party, which repels customers away. Now being $400,000 in debt and barely able to attract new customers, the owner calls out to John Taffer for some aid. Arriving with his experts, they immediately notice that the front door is broken glass, then he carefully sends in a group of women for recon. To see if the bar was being more conscious of who they let in, Taffer had one of the spies carry a fake ID, but they all got in regardless. Oddly, one of the bartenders decided to follow the group of girls and charm them by taking off his shirt. Fed up with what he was seeing, Taffer heads into the bar and confronts the staff about letting in someone with a fake ID, which makes the staff start throwing insults at him. Leaving and returning the following day, the bar rescue host holds a staff meeting and teaches them how to spot fake IDs. Elaine Duke, one of Taffer's mixologist experts, heads into the bar and tests the bartender's capabilities. They seem to be able to mix basic cocktails but are incapable of making eye contact or striking a conversation while mixing. In the kitchen, Chef Brian Duffy taught the staff how to create easy-to-make dishes using the new equipment he brought in. Later on, another patron seemed to pass through with a fake ID, which forces the general manager Russell to fire the current security personnel. Additionally, a kitchen staff member named Spellman was axed for walking out and taking shots during one of Taffer's stress tests due to the pressure. Impressed with the fact that Blanchard's attitude seemed to have improved and didn't take the firing of his friends personally, Taffer was ready to start making changes. Renamed to the Annex, the bar was revamped to include a brightly lit exterior and a much more appealing interior with red stools, black tables, and a shinier countertop. Taffer added in a bunch of premium liquor that was beautifully put on display right above their new Chill Right Choco Vodka system, which would keep their booze constantly cold. He also made sure that 3 POS systems were installed and remade the menu so it was only 1 page long. Fast forward to a month after Taffer left, things were reportedly better, but they did change their name back to TJ Quills. Nonetheless, it's still a pretty popular dive bar to this day with an average 3-star review on Yelp, most praising the drinks and general atmosphere. TJ Quills does however need to pay $1,000 a month since there was a crackdown on bars that allow underage drinking, even though they've gotten much better with that. Kid Chalene's Badass Barbecue. A couple named Scott and Donna Chalene decided to buy Kid Chalene's Badass Barbecue back in 2003. While it was extremely successful back in its heyday, once the owners began to drink with their patrons, things only went downhill from there. Only losing money and very close to losing their business as well, the Chileans call out to John Taffer for some help. Upon his arrival, Taffer points out that the building has poor lighting and that it's surrounded by deserted properties, which makes people wonder if it's even open. Sending in an undercover tourist for recon, they notice upon entering that the owners were drinking and how the bartenders were making obscene remarks. On top of this, when some patrons complained about the food, she gave them free shots, ignoring the fact that most have to drive afterwards. Having seen more than enough, Taffer heads into the bar and gives the inebriated owners a piece of his mind. Returning the following day with his experts, Russell Davis, a mixologist, and Chef J.B. Brown, they try to correct the bar's shortcomings. Davis heads into the bar to find it completely neglected, so he starts by first cleaning it up, then teaches the staff how to properly mix and pour drinks. Meanwhile in the kitchen, Brown taught the cooks how to properly make barbecue so they won't have to rely on store-bought products. During a stress test, an employee named Alea, who is the owner's daughter, proved to be a very capable bartender. Additionally, even though the owner Donna was tempted to drink with patrons during the test, she managed to resist those urges, impressing Taffer greatly. After teaching the staff how to make new and delicious food as well as drinks, Taffer was finally ready to start working his magic. Changing the name to Chalene's on 17 Saloon Steak and Barbecue, the signs on the outside were replaced and one was positioned 2 miles down the highway to encourage new patrons to visit. The exterior was painted a bright yellow color and some lights were added to ensure that no one would think it was out of business. Next, Taffer converted it into a cowboy-themed bar, and a moonshine pourer was added alongside a cleaner-looking menu. Eventually relaunching, the staff and patrons alike were incredibly ecstatic with the changes made, especially the delectable and piping hot barbecue. Fast forward to after the bar rescue team intervened, Chileans seem to be doing exceptionally well. With their sales being up by 43%, the bar has gotten a ton of positive reviews, rocking a pretty solid 3.5 stars on Yelp. Revisiting a while later, Taffer was proud to find out that Donna still continued to reject shots with the patrons and was working closely with her daughter. As a little side note, if you're interested in being a part of the bar's team, they're currently hiring. More details on their Facebook. Stand Up Scottsdale. Howard Hughes decided to open up a comedy club called Stand Up Scottsdale shortly after he finished performing a comedy circuit across Arizona. Thinking it would be an easy business to jump into, Hughes decided to put $180,000 of his own money, but was met with a rude awakening. Within just the first month, he had lost over $19,000, and instead of trying to make things right, he made himself the headliner of every show. Now, most people in the area dislike the club due to the awful live shows and even worse service. Really unsure how to move forward, Hughes decided to call out to the bar rescue team and John Taffer for some help. Coming to the bar with his experts, they highlight the fact that there isn't any way of knowing who's performing at the club, which is a horrible way to attract new customers. Sending in his experts Frankie Marshall, who's an expert in mixology, she notices that the bartenders are doing anything but their job. One of them seems to be socializing with the patrons rather than selling, and when Marshall tries to get his attention, he just ignores her. After what is a dreadful comedic performance, Taffer heads into the bar with the other expert, who immediately points out how horrible the kitchen is. In response, Hughes admits that the bar isn't the prettiest on the block, but tries to deflect with humor and bad jokes. Looking around, Taffer's appalled with the fact that there's so much trash on the floors and that the storage bins are filthy. Gathering the staff together, Taffer asks them to list out the reasons why they think the business is failing. Generally, the blame is put on the lack of leadership and structure, meaning that Hughes is the biggest problem. This is highlighted even further after a light reopen was held, where the owner just completely gave up and retreated upstairs. After this piss-poor performance, Taffer invites Owen Benjamin over to give his opinion on the bar, which seemed to have shifted Hughes' attitude. Seemingly holding a more focused view on how to work as a comedian and manager, Taffer was ready to make some changes. Thanks to Taffer's changes to the decor, menu, and general cleanliness, Stand Up Scottsdale is currently highly rated, rocking 4 stars on Yelp. The business still seems to be operated by Hughes, and his business partner Nathan serves as an investor to keep things operational. We're glad this rescue succeeded. Sand Dollar. Opened in 1976, the Sand Dollar was purchased by Lisa Guarna in 2009 with the financial help of her friend Paul Wilkes. Trying to shift the bar's focus to feature blues music, it seemed to attract an older crowd which pushed away their younger clientele. Going $300,000 into debt and at risk of losing their business altogether, Guarna called out to John Taffer for some assistance. Upon his eventual arrival, he points out that there was no way of telling what kind of establishment the place was. Sending in his wife Nicole for recon alongside her friend Erica, they're unimpressed with the fact that they serve drinks in plastic cups. Asking for food, Nicole is surprised to hear that they don't even offer any, so they order a different cocktail. The bar's co-owner started making sexually suggestive remarks to the two spies, which was the last straw for Taffer. Storming in to grab his wife, Taffer only returns the following day to meet with the owners, hoping to understand what issues were at hand. Taffer's expert inspected the bar area and found numerous sanitary issues, ranging from dirt to live cockroaches. After a lot of cleaning and getting the owners' act together, the bar rescue host was able to finally make some changes. Renaming the place to Bar 702, they completely changed the exterior so it was obvious that live bands were playing inside, and the interior was revamped to pay tribute to the bar's history. To solve the food issues, Taffer connected a neighboring Vietnamese restaurant to the bar, allowing for patrons to choose from 3 special dishes. Today, the bar is still open but under new ownership, being purchased by Brooke Alexander, who changed the name to the Sand Dollar Lounge. Well, that'll be all for today's video here on the channel. I do hope you enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to drop a massive like down below and comment your thoughts. Subscribe for more content like this and turn on those sweet bell notifications for instant access to our content. Have a good one, guys.